It's said that when Michelangelo created David, he said he carved away everything that wasn't David. To go 10x requires committing fully to the 20% you most deeply resonate with and eliminating everything else that can't or won't go with the 10x that you're trying to achieve. Hey, welcome back. Jeff Heggie, Daily Success Strategies. Thanks for being with me today. So for the past few episodes, I've been talking about this book that Benjamin Hardy sent me, 10x is easier than 2x. Outstanding book. I'll put a link in my show notes. You can go pre-order it. It's going to be available May 9th, but highly recommend it. In previous episodes, I talked about impossible goals, and then I talked about getting rid of the 80% and going for the 20%. It's such a key part of going 10x and really amplifying everything you're doing. But as you think about some of these things, probably a lot of scarcity thinking comes into play on, impossible goals. Why would you set impossible goals? The whole getting rid of the 80% when we're talking about the 80-20 principle. And as you read this, it really comes together on why you want to do this. Now, what I want to do is I want to continue this conversation, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about where you go with this 20%. As you focus on the 20%, some of the things that you've got to do. But also what I'm going to focus on in our next episode is I'm going to start talking about value and how this all plays together. But I want to start out by sharing a story that Benjamin Hardy tells of Dan Sullivan in the book, that in 1978, I think he said near the end of 1978, Dan decided that he was going to write every day in his journal exactly what he wanted. And this is going to be a key component of what I talk about today, is the want versus need, because he wanted to train himself to live a life based on wants and not needs, based on freedoms, not security, and abundance, not scarcity. Then he goes on to talk about 25 years later on his anniversary. He talked about this again, and I believe he said he had only missed 12 days in that whole 25 years of writing in his journal of what he wanted, exactly what he wanted. And the things that he said is he learned to stop justifying what he wanted. And I think that's really key. We always try to justify a want over a need. He learned to stop being constrained by needs or rationalizations. And he stopped worrying of others' opinions about his goals. I think these are really key if we want to 10x what we're really trying to achieve. Because, as I said in the last episode, what got you here won't get you there. So obviously, if you want to 10x, something has to change. A crucial aspect of wanting what you want is that you absolutely do not need to justify your desires to anyone. And that's something that you've really got to grasp as you focus on wants over needs. And it's the whole abundance over scarcity mentality. Abundance mentality is, I want it because I want it. And that takes a lot of courage. And as we go into value and stuff in the next episode, it'll kind of explain some of these things a little more. But you've got to be okay with wanting it. And that's why you're going after it, is because you want it. You don't need to justify to anyone else, because by wanting it, what you're going after, you're not taken away from anyone else. You're looking at it from an abundance mentality. In a world of wanting, there's no scarcity, because it's a world of innovation, not of taking away from others. Wanters are creating things that didn't exist before. And that's how you're going to 10x. You're going to focus on the 20% that is going to get you to that next level. And that is going to be creating value and doing those things. Now, when we talk about this, Dan Sullivan goes on that there's two important aspects of wanting that he talks about in the book. One, wanting is about abundance and creation. He says creativity is not a scarce resource and takes nothing away from anyone else. Rather, creativity actually creates new resources and opportunities which previously didn't exist, which would not have existed without someone proactively creating them. The next point, which I think is really key, is wanting requires no justification. When you want something, you don't need to justify what you want to anyone else. This will be particularly vexing to the self-righteous needers among us who will attempt to manipulate and guilt you into doing what they believe you should be doing based on their scarcity frame of reference. To go 10x, as well as to live a life that's uniquely suited that you want to live, you can't pay heed to the scarcity mongers. So those are the two key things I want you to think about as you're trying to go 10x. Wanting is about abundance and creation, and wanting requires no justification. So as we look at the last two episodes, one, impossible goals. You don't need to justify those impossible goals. Why do you want those? Because you want them. It's good enough. So next time I'm going to go more into the value and how that all ties into these things. But again, 10x is easier than 2x. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. Excellent book, highly recommended, and it's available May 9th. So go get your pre-order. Also, the book that they wrote together before this was Be Your Future Self Now, another great book. So if you want to read that before this one comes out, great companions. But thank you for being with me. Got a lot of great things going on right now. Please go listen to my episode of the Jeff Heggie Show today. It's got John Gordon on it with me. We had an incredible interview. Love you to go check that out because he dropped so much value in that interview. Really appreciate him coming on with me. Other than that, one of the things I really want you to remember is coming up next week. We've got an incredible call coming up with Todd Stottlemyre, two-time World Series champion, incredible entrepreneur, investor, businessman, family guy. But it was designed for the Confident Athlete Program Expert Series, but I'm opening up to everyone, to a limited number of seats to everyone. And if you want to check that out, go to confidentathleteprogram.com/relentless. And if there's seats still available, hurry and grab them. But thank you for being with me, and I'll be back on Friday. Athletes put a lot of time, money, and effort into the physical aspect of their sport, but they often neglect the mental game. And the mental game, it's just as important as the physical. In fact, it's often the differentiating factor between good and great athletes. If you really want to reach your full potential, if you want to be a great athlete, you've got to pay attention to the mental game. Now, come and join us in the Confident Athlete Program, where you're going to learn how to develop powerful mindset, extreme self-confidence, and really take your game to the next level. Come and check us out at confidentathleteprogram.com/membership.
Who you surround yourself with really does matter. The people you associate with and spend time with have a huge impact on who you become and what you do in your life. Hi, my name is Jeff Heggie, and I want to tell you about my Inner Circle Mastermind group. This is a group that's designed to surround you with like-minded high achievers who will help you to think bigger and amplify the performance of your business and your life while tearing down all the barriers that are holding you back. A mastermind is the fastest way to get you to the next level. If you're ready to network and connect with other successful entrepreneurs and influencers, go to coachheggie.com/mastermind.